Hello and welcome to GamesRadar's video review of Firewatch. I am features editor David Horton. With me is Justin Towell, our reviews editor, who has actually played and reviewed the game and therefore is by far the man to tell you about it rather than myself.
Sure.
Justin, right, Firewatch, there's been a great deal of hype and excitement regarding... it's the next sort of looks like the next big step in kind of first-person narrative adventure gaming, experiential kind of story characterization-driven goodness. Just to clarify and get us started, though, what do you actually do in Firewatch?
Okay, you'd think you spend your time watching for fires, but that's...
that would imply, yeah.
It would, but that's just the job that this guy, Henry, has taken on. He's decided to go out into the wilderness all summer to contemplate life because he's had some pretty nasty things happen to him in his personal life. But you don't spend your time watching for fires because intriguing things happen. And so you spend very little of your time actually in your tower and most of it walking around in the Wyoming wilderness. Trying to find clues, just checking things out, and basically looking for ways to forward the plot.
Right, okay. So it's more on a kind of, maybe in a sort of first-person exploration area?
Yeah, absolutely. You're kind of limited to where you can go. It's kind of Metroidvania in that there are some places that are blocked off by like overgrown bushes, so you have to come back when you've got an axe and that sort of thing. But usually there's only sort of one or two ways to get to where you're going. So there's this illusion of this massive, great big environment, but really it's very funneled.
So it's more on a kind of narrative ambience kind of preference rather than a kind of
it's all
action-based
basically it's all about the dialogue between yourself and your boss Delilah. So you've got radio contact with her. And most of the game is finding something and then talking to her about it and then choosing multiple choice answers. And as a sort of result of that, there's very little action. I mean, you sort of press X to hop over a fallen tree, but you never have to actually make any jumps yourself, that sort of thing. And there's no health bar, that sort of thing. So
so what you do, it's all kind of a framework to kind of underpin the expanding story, effectively.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about the story.
So it sounds kind of quite a sort of intimate, kind of experiential kind of game. How does the world building kind of play into that? Does that kind of boost that quite nicely?
The characterization's absolutely fantastic. The voice acting is incredible throughout as well. There's some really touching moments. But as you play and you sort of get sucked into its world, it's amazing how much it affects you emotionally. I mean, that sounds a bit lame, but it really does.
That's the point of the game. So,
absolutely, it really makes you feel things, and it's amplified by this sense of just being out in the middle of nowhere. Because it's set in 1989, you've only got this one radio to talk with. So basically it is just you against whatever's out there, and the feeling of paranoia that can evoke is really something.
So is there much kind of like Telltale style, is there much control of the story? Is it more of a journey style thing where it's more about, well, the journey and your kind of progress through it?
It's a bit of both in that structurally the story has its end point and the start, and you basically get to it by having this illusion of choice. But having gone back and tried making the opposite choices, it doesn't really matter that much. It funnels you towards the end. But at least along the way, if you do make a choice, then it's constantly referenced throughout. So that works really well.
Okay, cool. So on the kind of more, I hate using the word arty, but on the kind of more arty, more left field, kind of narrative-based kind of sort of subgenre almost that's blown over the last few years. It sounds like this is very good, but where does Firewatch stand within the great pantheon of stuff like Journey and Gone Home and Soma, etc.?
I think it's probably slicker and better than Soma, although I think Journey is slicker than it, and not just in a technical point of view. Although technically the PS4 version that I was playing does have a few hiccups. So it's not perfect in that regard. But I think Journey is definitely the more sort of AAA production style of that kind of game. Whereas this it's not clunky in the sound design. That's the thing. The sound design is fantastic, apart from just like 3 examples where it repeated stuff and pulled me out of the experience. But apart from that, it does a great job of making this world. And I was so engrossed in it. And because it takes about 6 hours to finish, I played 3 hours one day and then the rest the next day. And I was thinking about it all that night, pondering it in my head, wondering about things.
Excellent.
It really got its hooks into me.
So kind of via sort of intimacy and characterization and world building, much more than kind of the sum of any parts. That
absolutely. It's going to stay with me forever. Although I'm not sure that you could really get that much out of playing it again. It's something you absolutely have to play and experience just once. And then after that,
but worth it for that.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, this all sounds really good. As obscene as it feels to put a number on such a thing, arbitrarily, what score are you giving it?
I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5.
Excellent. Firewatch is out on the 9th of February for $19.99 or £14.99. If you want more detail on Firewatch, and it sounds like you probably will at this point, then Justin's full text review is on the site right now. For all the things Firewatch and all the other hotness you need to know about, then keep it tuned to GamesRadar. No.